Welcome to the Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning and welcome to the Manuchehri Show. We are live here in really warm. I watered my front yard at like 7 this morning for like a good over an hour.
It's a good move there. It's a good move. I would have ran through it.
You would have? Yeah.
Well, sure.
Sprinkler? Yeah.
It's going to be a hot one.
Yeah, it's a hot one.
Which is rare. We actually made or are going to make national news.
Really?
Because we'll actually be warmer than Florida.
Really?
That is the prediction. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
I didn't think it would be like reverse.
But I do have my air conditioner on.
Mine too.
Right?
It's going like it's on right now. Yeah, I'm not even there.
Right.
Not even there.
Because it's been really, really hot. And I planted like 35 plants last weekend. Mm-hmm. So this morning I was in the backyard watering, soaking everything up because new plants and heat. My hollyhocks, the leaves did not look happy. They were like, like brown and bending over.
Well, to support me and my recent issues with my backyard, I'm okay with it now.
Because everyone's yard looks
totally
like that.
They're gonna die. Mine already did.
Yeah.
I was jumping ahead. I was thinking ahead. So I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah. For those of you who hadn't heard, Benny.
Oops.
Yeah. A little bit long, too much killing stuff on the grass.
Use the wrong bottle.
Use the wrong bottle.
Period.
Exactly. It could happen.
I shouldn't have done it at all, but I was trying to do it.
Yeah, but now, he's fine with it because all the neighbors' lawns look like that.
It's like, nah.
That's very cute.
All right.
Great. So we're taking calls.
We are, and it's an open call-in show day today. 877-825-8828 is the number for the shoe. And shall we start things off?
Sure. Why not?
All right. Let's take Michelle, who's calling in from the Bothell area. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Michelle. What can I do for you? Yes.
Well, I would love a read. I feel like I'm have experienced kind of like an activation of myself, and I really want to keep it encouraged.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it will, of course. What do you think led to the activation? Did you do something different? And how would you describe this activation?
Oh man, it's been a long. It's been a long process.
Okay.
Of letting go of what other people think and focusing on what fuels me.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you're taking energy into every chakra in your body. I would, to enhance, you becoming more of your authentic self, I would keep your energy elevated. So keep doing things that are happy, that are fun, that are joyful for you. Don't get caught up in the news. Don't get caught up in gossip or, negative conversations to help with this activation. And I would meditate if you don't every day. Like 15 minutes, even if you want to do it with a yoga position or qigong, because there's different ways to meditate, but I think the meditation will be really helpful.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have time for one more question?
Quickly.
Okay. My son is experiencing psoriasis, and I was curious if there's anything that I could do to help him.
Well, a change of his diet would be great. How old is he?
He's 12.
Okay. So, and teenagers those are the harder population to get them to change their diet, right? Because they're eating pizza with all their friends and, milkshakes. I think it's cheese for him, dairy. Okay. So it would be great if you could cut that out of his diet or significantly reduce it. That would be wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a great question. All right. Well, have a lovely day. We live in the same neighborhood, so maybe I'll see you at the coffee shop, one of them.
I hope so.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle, for joining us, and stay cool out there.
Yes.
877-825-8828 is the number for the show, and we'll travel south to Atlanta, where we have Greg joining us. Hi, Greg.
Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing?
We're good.
We are great. Yeah. Thank you. What can I do for you?
All right. I'll try to make it a real short, but I started out as an engineer, and then I switched to being a residential architect. I've been doing that for 20 years, and I'm still doing that to make the ends meet. But a couple of years ago, I started watching a woman named Sue Bryce, and she introduced portrait photography, the idea of portrait photography. I never had a business bone in my body, and now all of a sudden I thought, hey, I can do this. So, but I've also been figure drawing and classical painting for the last 15 years.
So you're an artist.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it's all exciting. It's all, I get a jolt from doing photography as well as the figure painting. I think I prefer the figure painting a little bit more, but I think the photography could help earn some money, earn more money than the painting at a moment. So I was just wondering what my guides and gurus,
what they have to say.
Where should I? What Sue Bryce once texted me or something like, why are you trying to ride 3 horses with one ass on one butt? And, I said, well, I thought to myself, well, I'm just driving a chariot. That's all.
Right.
So,
That's cute. Well, first of all, I don't want you to think about which is going to create more wealth. That's really not how you make success. Success is being in joy and not thinking of money as only has one river or channel. You have to look at money as energy, subatomic particles. All money is just simply energy. And what you want to become is really good at receiving. And of course, you're an artist. I think a lot of artist people are drawn to architecture initially because there's drawing involved. I mean, even if it's with a cat or whatnot, there's more of a creative process potentially. So you have to change your frequency about wealth because the universe is going to give you all the wealth you want. Your job is not to figure out how, when, where, or why, which is hard for humans. Humans want the answers to all of those time, space related questions, but the universe doesn't even speak with those words. So it can't, if you ask those questions, the universe can't answer it in that way because time does not exist. It's actually a man-made phenomenon. It's not real even here on Earth, but try to tell that to a lot of humans and, they're not going to believe you. But it definitely doesn't exist outside of the Earth realm. So you have to change the way you think about it. What you want is to be financially free to do whatever you want. Agreed?
Right.
Okay. So that's where your focus needs to be. And so in order to manifest what you want, whatever it is that we want, it's imperative that you start to feel that way. Instead of trying to figure it out or do actions in some linear fashion to make it all work, you have to start to feel that what you want is already here. Here's a funny little story. And I'm hoping that our entire listening audience will gain some help from this little story. I bought a new dishwasher I don't know, a month ago or whatever. And it was working lovely a few months ago. And then it stopped working. And I was having a hard time getting repair people out, having them know what to do. The company that I bought it from was kind of annoyed by me, right? But I'm like, I just bought this brand new thing. And then one day it just hit me. It was last weekend. I went, oh, every time I walk in the kitchen, I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to take action because I really don't want to wash dishes by hand. And I have a large family. They don't all live with me, but they all come to my house.
The dog can only wash so many plates.
Yeah. Charles, he'll only lick so many.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. Right?
So I went, oh, well, honey, I was talking to myself. I said, honey, you have to, every time you walk into the kitchen, you need to feel that the dishwasher is repaired and it's working. And I actually love the sound of this dishwasher. It's like whisper quiet. It's really pretty. And it has this light that like this laser beam that shines on the hardwood floor when it's on. It's kind of cute.
Wow.
I know, it's kind of cute. So at any rate, that's what I did. It only took 24 hours, well, maybe 48. And then the person who is in charge of the manufacturing in this area of this particular device called me and said, can I come over and look at your dishwasher? I'm like, please. He goes, can I come tomorrow? I'm like, yes. So now my dishwasher is repaired. So no matter how annoyed, complicated, I need to figure this out, what actions do I have to take that we think we need to do in the world, regardless of what the topic is, money, a dishwasher, a house, a lover, your body, it doesn't matter. You have to feel that it is exactly what you want it to be. Perfect. So you have to feel that you have all the resources that you could possibly imagine so you can have financial freedom, because the universe is very playful and fun and creative, and there's no way your linear mind could figure out how it would all work out. Okay?
So just to kind of try to repeat real quick. So if I just kind of try to stay in the moment of appreciation and of what you were talking about, then which direction will kind of fall into place on how that is all supposed to proceed? Is that
right? I mean, things could just
right?
like you could just get a big check from somebody who you don't even know who's related to you who passed away. Like all kinds of weird things can happen. And or yes, you can get inspired. You can get inspired, and then that's the action you want to take. So, and at the same time,
inspiration is the direction where I'm feeling the inspiration at the moment.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But when I look at your energy in particular, Greg, you need to feel that you are financially free, because you have it hardwired in your brain that you have to do certain, as most Americans do, that you have to do certain things to survive. Like there's no wiggle room. Got to do this, got to work with this type of company. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I just was saying to my girlfriend the other day, I was sitting on the porch just kind of enjoying nature at 9:30. I'm like, I'm feeling guilty sitting here.
Yeah, right?
At 9:30 in the morning.
But that's really healthy. Mm-hmm. Strong intuitives who do a lot of intuitive work like myself, we know the benefit of rest and relaxation, because intuition and even taking in wealth is a receptive experience. You have to be open, you have to be relaxed, you have to be allowing, you have to feel that you're worthy and that you're deserving. So I think there's a lot of areas where you could work on shifting your vibration so that you can make something really fun for yourself that's super delightful. And don't worry about where the money's going to come from. It's already here, right? Mm-hmm. That's the thing you need to feel so you can let it come in. Okay?
All right. And then there's a number of spirit guides, or since everybody else asked that question?
I think you have 7, which means you have to get out of your head and stop thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Stay cool.
We will. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. From calling in from Atlanta. That was very sweet of him. I think it's just the changing in mind frame set, right? And like reframing for sure. Your example is perfect for you brought so much negative energy.
I did. I was annoyed. I was frustrated.
Man, come on. Well, you're going to
already yelled at the company. I'm like, I mean, I was nice yelling, but still I was like,
Marie's never yelled at us before.
I'm like, hello, what's going on here?
The laser beam isn't working.
The laser beam was not working. Yeah. So, and if you have anything, if you have anything in your life like that, these are the things you want to practice on, because getting my dishwasher fixed wasn't the end of the world, right? Like it was eventually something was going to happen. Even if worst case scenario, I had to yank the thing out and just go get a different one, what worst case scenario, which of course it was under warranty. So that was like the last thing that was probably going to happen. But try practicing this, ability to shift your energy, your mind, and your awareness on things that are not so stressful in your life, so you can get really, 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 really good at it, so that you can also channel that energy on the things that are super important to you. Right?
100% agreed.
Great.
All right. 877-825-8828 is the number for the show. We will now take one more before our first break of the hour, and it's Sherry calling in from Asheville, North Carolina.
Ooh.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
Hi, Sherry. I love Asheville. It is a lovely place. You are very lucky to live there.
Oh, yes. Well, I grew up in Washington.
State, well, you picked a great place. Yeah, it reminded me of like Seattle in like the 60s.
It's too hot right now, so don't come back.
Yeah.
Stay there.
We're having nice, cool Washington weather
Are
here
you
right
really?
now. Making me homesick.
Oh, well, come home whenever you want. We're here for you.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, Asheville's great. I mean, you can order any gluten-free alternative milk product you could possibly desire in any restaurant in Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah, I love it there.
True.
It's really true.
It's true.
So what can I do for you?
Oversaturated with options.
I know, it's great. I was shocked. Literally shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting you're talking about your frustrating energy towards your dishwasher.
Yeah.
Mine is more towards my 4-year-old son.
Okay.
I'm kind of
calling about that. I'm a little bit at my wit's end with how frustrating he is.
But you know what? You're too nice.
Yeah.
You're too nice. And so you have this lovely, adorable, very smart young kid. And that age group is a little manipulative, I think, overall, because I have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter, and she'll be 4 in November. She's a little manipulative with this, and so freaking cute. I think I've already mentioned this before. We were walking back from the park one day, walking past this cute little hamburger stand place, and she goes, "Mimi," because that's what she calls me. She goes, "Mimi, do you have your credit card with you?" And I go, "Yes, I do." And she goes, "Okay, because I need ice cream, Mimi." And how could you say no to that? Like, how does she know to say credit card? And then she made sure that they had some treats for Charles because he was with us, and they didn't have treats, so they gave him some bacon. I think I've told this story before on the air.
Yeah.
But that from her request, can Charles have a treat too, to the lovely lady who's helping us get her ice cream, and then Charles gets freshly cooked bacon, right? But you are too nice.
Yeah, and I have a 6-year-old daughter as well, and so I know the difference. If I had had him first, maybe wouldn't have had another.
No, he's adorable. I love that you're annoyed. I love that you're annoyed because I know what a kind, compassionate, caring person you are. But you're going to have to really work on the word no in this relationship with him. Nope. And if it doesn't matter why, I just said that. In fact, my middle daughter and I were just talking about this on the phone. I guess when they were little, sometimes I go, "I'm not giving you an explanation. The answer is no." It's okay to do that. Really nice parents want to just give their kids everything. Well, you don't have to all the time.
Yeah. Well, he's had issues behaviorally since, we were having teacher meetings before he was 2.
Wow.
And he got kind of nudged out of a Montessori school. Who's actually known to nudge out boys.
All right. Well, that's too bad because that's such a great school.
I know.
That's too bad.
I know. But he, he's just had these behavioral, like kind of high energy, rough. He's so big for his age, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, medically, is there some
I think the only
issue causing?
Well, first of all, I think our children, and not yours, are highly over-medicated for ridiculous reasons. Really, we shouldn't be asking kids to sit in a chair for 6 hours a day. I don't think that's healthy.
No, I've got them at a farmstead school.
You are such a good mother. Yeah, because they should be hanging from trees learning math, right? Like, that's the way it should be. So congratulations. But no, really, congratulations. That's great. How about, like, his diet? I think a lot comes down to diet. Like, of course, this is a kid who can't have a lot of sugar or, artificial colors. You probably should keep wheat away from him. Wheat tends to be an allergy and or dairy.
Well, we've had him off dairy since he's little because he had horrible eczema. So we switched to goat milk, goat cheese, and he's been good with that.
But maybe take the wheat out.
Okay.
And just see if that gets him to calm down. A lot of kids who are sensitive, because that's how I would describe him, as sensitive, right?
Yeah.
They just aren't great with additives. Now, if you were living in Italy, we wouldn't have to have a conversation about the wheat because they use a very different grain than we do. And in the 60s, we made ours a GMO. It really, technically, that's not what they thought what they were doing in the 60s. But in today's standards of what GMO is, our wheat is GMO. So, because they crossbred it. So I would take the wheat out of his diet and see if you start to notice him relaxing. And here's what I want you to do. Just like how I couldn't look at my dishwasher and be annoyed, you cannot look at him and be annoyed. So you need to distract. I know. You need to distract yourself. You need to think that he looks like a plant or something that makes you happy, not the fiery ball of life that is pounding his fists in your direction,
Yeah,
literally. Yeah, he's really, really cute.
He's just so tough. I feel
know.
like I'm at the
he's actually here
to get better.
Well, he will eventually go to college, just FYI, he will eventually leave the nest, but he's actually a gift. Your soul wants you to learn to be tougher and to set more boundaries, and he is the gem that you asked to come into your life to help you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And we're all sending him tons of love because he's just
Thank you.
cute as can be. He's adorable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's nice to know that, I mean, I have a neighbor who has ADHD, the kid, and he reminds me a lot of the way he acts, that compulsive. And so I don't want to ever go on medicine. I really just need to know how to deal with him so I don't kill him.
I think you're not going to kill him. You're too nice. But I just think that Americans overall are highly over-medicated on this topic. And we need to get down to the nitty-gritty of what is making people nervous or upset or agitated. It's not there's something wrong with their neurological system. No, they just don't know what makes them happy. And your kid fires his energy fast. And you have been too nice. And now you have to stop being so nice and see if the wheat makes a difference.
Okay.
And lots of probiotics, lots of probiotics for his GI tract. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sherry, for joining us from Asheville, North Carolina. And yes, no is a complete sentence. Okay. We all can say it. We know can do it. So it's all good. Just takes a little bit of work.
It does. It's just no, exactly. I love my daughter, Mariam, but and of course, Camilla is she's smarter than us. We've determined we think she has a photographic memory. Like she'll walk in a room and go, Mimi, where's this thing that was over here? Like it could be the tiniest, littlest thing, like but Mariam gives her lots of answers.
Sure.
I don't do that. Like, nope. Keep moving along. Move on.
Keep moving along. Nothing to see here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some kids need that.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, you're never going to get anything done.
Right. That's awesome. That's so sweet. 877-825-8828 is the number for the Marie Manuchehri Show. Full lines still, but when we let a caller go,
another one comes on.
Yeah, you got it. So keep trying. The lines, we'll get them to them as quickly as we can. So here's our first break of the hour. We'll be right back with more from Marie.
And welcome back to the Marie Manuchehri Show. I know you heard all the commercials about my shows, my classes coming up. We have 9 seats left in the Medium coaching program that begins September 13th. We have 15 left in September 15th for vibrational coaching and 13 left for financial freedom, which begins September 16th. Just giving you a heads up. And we are diligently working on the Greece retreat. I mean, really everything has been taken care of. I just want to, now that we've got this interesting variant kind of floating around the planet, I'm just kind of looking at everything and making sure that we could go June 27th through July 3rd, because that's what we've agreed so far with the island of Syros and Christopher, who owns this amazing retreat facility. And this year we're going to take a little less. We're going to have a few more individual rooms. So I think we're taking 23 people. And then with Jen and I, that'll be 25 that will be traveling to Greece. But I'm going to take a little bit of time and think about traveling and health. And we want everyone to be healthy and be safe. And, we're not sure what the UK is going to recommend. People might need to be vaccinated. People will definitely have to be tested for COVID. So we're just kind of looking at everything before we make our final, decisions as we put it up on the website. Yeah. Just letting you know. But if you have interest, you probably do want to call the office or, go to energyintuitive.com and let us know. Because if we don't go in this late part of June, I'll reschedule for for September. Right. But my plan is that we will be leaving next year for Greece, and we're working, we're going to do this retreat on how to manifest.
Awesome.
Yeah. Even manifest your intuition, whatever you want to manifest. It's going to be super fun.
Be perfect.
Yeah.
Quick little heads up to everyone who's listening on the YouTube. Yes, we don't air the breaks. You probably just see our heads bobbing around.
Yeah, because we're dancing.
There are some licensing issues. We have to jump around and hoops. So that's why there's no audio at that time, but we do come back for the live segments. Just to let everybody know, they're like, where's Marie? We can't hear you. Oh my gosh. And so everyone's okay. Calm down.
Yeah, just the commercials, right?
Because everyone breathe.
Because Benny plays really cool music, but YouTube, we'd get in trouble.
Yeah, we get slapped.
Yeah. And then they kick you off of YouTube for like a week.
You can't do that.
Yeah. You get kicked off social media. I got kicked off Facebook once, but
And then what happened?
We stopped doing whatever I was doing.
Did you send them some cookies?
No.
Should have.
I did actually complain because I don't even know why they kicked me off for a week. It had something to do with some photo, but it really wasn't original. I don't know what it was, but I complained and then I was back on.
Yeah. So, see, no problem.
But my favorite social media is Instagram. That is my absolute favorite. So if you really want to know what's going on more than we do post similar things on Instagram that we put on Facebook, but not everything. And because you can do your story things, right? But I love Instagram. It's my favorite.
Nice plug.
Okay.
Just kidding. We're not getting paid from Instagram.
Oh, we're not.
Just to clear everybody out. Okay.
We're not.
Disclaimer. Let's go with Marissa, who's calling in from Edmonton, Canada. Hey, Marissa.
Hi.
Hi, Marissa.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy to talk to you, Marie.
Oh, good.
I'm so happy. I took your course through True Sound, and it was just absolutely awesome. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Which course was that? Was that the something?
Attuned to the Unknown?
Yeah, I think I recorded that a while ago with Sounds True. So fun. Wonderful.
Yeah, it just hit my radar about 2 months ago, and I did it within about a week. It was just awesome.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. What can I do for you today?
So I threw kind of life to the wind. I put my house up for sale.
Oh.
I quit my long-term job, and then I just found out my other job, my boss is retiring.
Wow.
And I threw everything to the wind, and I'm hoping that you can kind of scan my aura, scan my higher self and my loved ones on the other side and go am I doing the right thing? Cause
well, you kind of did it, right? I mean, is the house sold?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you want? That's really what I want you to focus on. Desires. What do you want?
Just like the gentleman that was before, I want to lose the responsibilities of ownership, and I want financial freedom. I want to travel. I want to go to Sedona. I want to go and do things that and go through the world.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. So it sounds like you're moving in the right steps. You selling your property, or you could rent it out, or whatever you want to do. I mean, that sounds lovely. So, but you're saying you want a career that you can do while you're traveling. Is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what that career is going to look like. I've been in the healthcare industry for 28 years, and I don't know if I'm going back to healthcare. I don't know if I'm doing something completely different. I'm just completely in the unknown.
Right. But there has to be things that you actually love to do or that are inspired by, because the universe, I'll explain this one way. The fifth layer of the auric field, which I'm going to draw yours out right now, and I will show the YouTube people what it looks like. So I just drew out your the fifth layer of your auric field, which is called the divine plan. And all the grid lines that I drew out are indicators that you are on track, you're on path, you're in alignment. So to answer your question, you're doing all the right things, even though you have no idea where this is going. Inside the third layer, fifth, excuse me. It's like, did you spike my water?
I did not touch that water.
Yeah, because I'm a lightweight. I can't drink that much. So inside the fifth layer of the auric field, I want you to think of it as like fabric. It's one way to understand it. And what is deeply embedded into the fabric are your natural gifts and talents. Everybody has many of them. And as soon as you discover one, they're like rabbits. You discover more. It just becomes like, now I do this weird encaustic art that sometimes people try to buy. It's weird, but I love doing encaustic work. So you have this beautiful fifth layer of the auric field that's completely filled out. And the way that you discover the filaments of your natural gifts and talents is you have to follow what makes you happy. It's really that simple. It's not about the logical mind. It's not about figuring it out. It's about what brings you joy. Like I entered medicine because it actually made me happy, even though I was raised organic, saw a Chinese herbal medicine and a chiropractor for the majority of my health needs, most of my life. So it's joy. You've got to find joy. And you're in your head. The brain doesn't feel joy. The brain is not a feeling animal. It's a logical tool to make sure that Jen and I got to the studio on time, and to help Benny make sure he turned up my headphones, because I listen to them very loud. And there's like 5 pairs of headphones here. And so he has to use his linear mind to make sure that the right headphones are turned up. Right?
And I've been here for almost 20 years, so I should know that.
Well, I know. I'm just using that as an example,
I know,
right? So you can't use your brain to discover what makes you happy. No one can. You have to actually be in your body and start to experience the world around you. And even if it's like chasing a butterfly across the lawn that makes you happy, go do it, because that's going to lead you to the next inspiration. You can't figure this out logically, and you did not answer my question. So you need to figure this out. You need to go find out what makes you happy, and I don't care what it is, but that's the yellow brick road. That's where you're going to discover, oh my gosh, I'm extremely talented at this. I'm really good at it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So but you're on the right track. So I would say selling the house is the right thing to do. My logical mind doesn't think that, honestly, but I still like my house. But the energy does not lie. It is an accurate source of information, and you are on the right track. Okay?
Okay. So I know that, like, for me, it's service, like a life.
No, it's
service.
not. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not.
No?
Nope. This is something, I'm going to say this one more time, and then we'll go to our next caller.
Sure.
You're using your mind.
Okay.
Like, for example, the things I do in the world are actually of service, but I don't do it for that reason. That is not what brings me joy. I'm so happy that I get to help people, and I'm grateful that what I do is helpful. But I do it because I love seeing the energy. I love that I drew out your auric field and saw that you're on path. That is what inspires me. When I see a dead person floating next to someone, when I see someone's chakra drawing out energy, not the service. You get to be of service when you discover your joy and you allow your joy to be a prominent part of your life. Of course, it will provide some amazing service, but joy is very, very different. So you have some homework to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks for joining the show. 877.
That was good.
Yeah, it was.
That last part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can finish the phone
number. Go ahead. Phone number.
No, that last part, because people say, no, I love helping people. I go, no, you don't. It's exhausting if you're always helping people. Ask any nurse, doctor, therapist, parent. It's exhausting. And that's why you have to be filled up with joy. That's why grandkids are so fun. Benny, you're going to love it years from now, many, 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 many years from now. Because, when my kids first started having kids, I'm like, okay, now I have more people I have to take care of, worry about. That was my first thought, honestly. But grandkids are the best because you don't have to really take care of them.
You give them back.
Yeah, you give them back. You don't have
all
to.
You want.
Right.
Like your first set.
Yeah.
And then you give them
right.
back.
And you don't have to pay for college or orthodontist or fix their car or whatever. You can if you want to.
Sure.
If it's fun. Like, I'm not going to help with college. I said I'll help with I believe in helping with early education. So I'll be helping with Montessori schools and things like that. But
less pressure.
Yeah. Well, I just think early education is
I meant for the overall help.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just so much fun. Right. Yeah. Grandkids are really, really, my house looks like a little bit like a daycare sometimes. I have tons of little things all over the place. But I can always put it in the garage and pretend like I don't have grandkids for a moment.
That's awesome. All right, let me get the number, and then we'll take one more call before our last break. It's 877-825-8828 if you don't have the number for the Marie Manuchehri Show. We'll now take Tatiana calling in from Seattle. Hi, Tatiana.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Tatiana. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing okay. First, Marie, I wanted to say thank you for giving me a lot more peace about death because I grew up in a Pentecostal Christian church. And I remember having nightmares as a child about my soul. And I feel like listening to you have given me so much peace about death. And I think that is so great.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it's been helpful. It is my pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am calling because I would love some guidance from my non-physical team about my relationship.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, I already drew out your energy. All of your chakras, except for one, is taking in a lot of energy, which is not common, right? Like most people are not absorbing high vibrational energy into the majority of their chakras. That's just my experience. And of course, the one that you're leaking is not one of the ones I want people to leak from, but it's the root chakra. So, but that would go along with this relationship thing because it's probably a big part of your life. Correct? And now you're not sure about it anymore.
Yep.
Right. And so, of course, you're leaking from your root because you're like, great. Now what am I going to do? Right.
Yep. Yep.
I don't mean to laugh, by the way, because I know it's not funny, but I just love it when we're in those spaces. There's just nothing about life that is really guaranteed, especially if you're going to continue to grow and expand. It's really like a crapshoot. You don't know because you're going to change your mind about something. I am hearing, but again, I'm not in the relationship, right? I am hearing that your expectations are high. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So you kind of need to figure out what you want, but you need to back down a little bit because I do think this is a good person. Is that also something you agree with?
It's he's been able to show me a lot of good things. And I feel like this is my first, I'm 36 and I feel like this is the first relationship that I've really put everything into and and I've been in such a good place. I have so much self-love. And so and I think he is a good person to match that.
I think he is. So could you be less hard on him and ask less of him? And I don't mean about yard work or, I don't mean those things, but you want him to grow spiritually.
Yep.
And you need to be okay with where he's at because he's okay with whatever you want to do spiritually, right?
Yep.
He's like, go baby, go do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, he's very supportive. It's really awesome.
So can you just not try to get him to grow so much? Can you just love him the way he is?
I can attempt to do so, yes.
I think this is a huge learning experience for you because he's checked off your boxes.
Yeah.
Right. And I think initially when this relationship started too, you were okay with his spiritual process, whatever that is. And now you're like, no, wait a minute. I want you where I'm at. But he's not where you're at. And he may not ever be exactly where you're at. But if he's checking off most of your boxes, and he's a good person, I think this is, real spirituality, in my opinion, is about how a person behaves in the world. It's about kindness and compassion and love and courtesy and respect. He's all those things.
Yep.
From my perception, right?
So
maybe you need to have a group of people that you can just go wild about regarding your spirituality. And he will love to listen to every inch of it. He will love it. But don't expect him to be there. So you need to figure that out. I mean, because you're a little tough. You are.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. Well, a little.
Oh.
I think there's a little.
I get it now.
Yeah, I think there's a little because I think you met a really good person from what I can see. I'm not there, right? But from what I can see, and there's certain things that you want, and he goes, great. But then you're like stuck on this one thing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yep. I value that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And it's good for you to learn to let go and get out of the way and let people be who they are. But
which I have on sticky notes in my apartment.
Good.
So thank
you. Good. Yeah. Just keep doing that because, he's checking off your boxes. And I think the two of you could make a really cool life together. Okay.
Whew, okay. Thank you so much. That's what I needed. Thank you.
Okay. But, ask your friends too, because I'm not there. Ask the people that love you too to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Thank you for your guidance.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thanks, Tatiana, for joining the show today. The Marie Manuchehri Show, 877-825-8828. We're at our last break of the hour.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. We'll be right back with more from Marie.
And welcome back to the Manuchehri Show. So there's somebody on YouTube that asked a question.
Yeah, it's from Kim Bracken. So Kim, thanks for the question. She goes, "Hello, Marie. So grateful to be listening." Maybe
Hello.
I know. Well, maybe like that, but I'm thinking it is.
Yes.
I would like more information about your mediumship course, and if you think that would be the best or next step for me.
I think you would have a blast, Kim, in the class. You do have a little bit of fear about the other side, so that'll be fun to work on that. But I feel like your vibration's elevated, and that's kind of the most important thing when people are moving into psychic work, intuitive work. You want to have your energy elevated because everything happens in a very high frequency in terms of communicating between worlds. So if you agree with me on that, then I would say yes. You can go ahead and take the medium workshop. Of course, you can take whatever you want. And then for those people who are listening who aren't sure, who think they keep their energy low, consider taking the vibrational course. It will not only help your intuition, but it will change your life. It'll make your life happier, just like my example about the dishwasher. And it took me a while to figure it out, obviously, but I had when you complain about something or you're annoyed about something, it lowers your energy and it's difficult to get things resolved. As soon as I heightened my energy, boom, they fixed it. Yeah.
Life changing.
And it was fun too. It was very fun.
Mind blowing.
Like the person who came to fix it was very fun. So that's nice too.
Very fun.
Well, they were. They're friendly, fun.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
You're like put on an act or a show or anything.
No.
Like, you know?
Yeah, it was just really fun. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Suzanne from Portland, Oregon is joining the show now. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. What can we do for you?
I'm actually calling. My friend Justine and I are both dialing over and over again this morning.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
She's probably listening because this question's for her.
Okay.
I recommended you to her because she's had like a psoriasis dermatitis thing on her scalp for the last couple of years. And she's tried all the things, the diets, the supplements, doctors.
It's her adrenal glands. It's her adrenals. So, and you know Justine well, right?
Yeah.
Would you say she's a worrier?
A little bit. Actually, she sent me, told her if I get in, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. And I know who you are, Suzanne. You're in one of my classes right now.
Yeah. So I
recognize your voice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to come up with different ways to help.
Good. Excellent. I want her to work on her adrenal glands because she goes into fight or flight a lot. Okay. And it's just messing with her immune system. So,
so she sent me a couple of things to say if I did happen to get on. And one of them was a little bit of anxiety.
A lot.
Yeah.
I think that's how I look at it. So she needs to feed her adrenals and learn to stop worrying. So you can help her with that. You know how to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Well, that's easy. And everything that you've said on the show so far, we've taken a ton of notes because it seems like everything has applied.
Great. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yes. And I'm so glad you're pardon. What if question? Yeah. For her.
Oh, yeah.
What if nothing matters?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. What if nothing matters? That's a good one for her.
I would think adrenal support, we're talking about like rest and rejuvenation, but do you have a specific?
I want her to take some herbs. I definitely want her to take some herbs. That's what she really needs because she needs that. She needs the internal support to help her to rest. You know, she's got a very busy mind. Very, very busy. So that's what I would recommend. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'll see you on Monday.
Yes, you will.
Okay. Thanks, Suzanne. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, Suzanne, for calling in. And it was nice that her and her friend did the tag teaming.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sometimes that helps. Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Passing along the good word.
Yeah.
Miranda from Kenmore. Hello, Miranda.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
We're good.
We are great. What can we do for you?
Good. Okay. So, Maria, I had a call with you back in May.
You mean like a session or?
A session.
And how was it?
It was really helpful. But I'm actually calling about a follow-up question from what we talked about.
Okay, great.
So you had told me I've suffered from anxiety for a while, and you told me that my anxiety was an illusion.
Right.
And
I stand by that with you, by the way. Yes, go ahead.
No, I do. I understand partially what you're saying with that. But I'm having a little bit of trouble reconciling that with what we know about like the physical implications of traumatic events that happen to the body.
Sure.
So I'm just kind of wondering, how can it be an illusion if my brain has essentially rewired itself to respond a certain way in certain circumstances?
Right, because the brain lies constantly. Like those things aren't happening anymore. They're not happening, correct?
Right. Yeah.
So what needs to happen is you need to learn to manage your mind. You can't just let it run all over the place. You know, I like to think that if people could treat their brain like a dog, that would be wonderful. And dogs need constant positive reinforcement and management. Like I tell Charles all the time, leave it, leave it. He leaves it. And then I give him a treat and I say, good boy, good boy. So you need to start doing that to yourself. You need to have constant internal dialogue that's kind, compassionate, loving, but manageable. You can't just let it go all over the place.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah, I've been practicing that.
Good.
But the reason that it's been coming up a lot lately with me is actually flying to Greece. In
fun. Yay.
Yeah,
Tell
I'm
me,
really excited for it.
Tell me everything that
also,
happens when you go. You know, give me a report when you get back, okay?
Okay, I will. But this anxiety thing is coming up for me because flying on planes is something that
I think you're going to be fine. I'm not worried about you at all. The reason why I'm being a little bit, you know, like I'm going to overlook everything and just do another double check on stuff is because I'm going to be, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that I'm somewhat responsible for. So I think you're going to be perfectly fine. I'm not even slightly worried about you. And you need the vacation.
Yeah.
And have you ever been
a long time coming?
Have you ever been to Greece before?
I've not, but I've wanted to go for such a long time.
Oh, so. You are going to. It's one of my favorite destinations. I mean, it's beautiful. Are you good? What islands are you going to go to?
So I'm going to a spiritual retreat on it's a small remote island called Kufanisi. And then I'm flying by myself to get there to do that. And then my sister's meeting up with me to go to Santorini, Naxos, and then we'll spend a couple days in Athens.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have so much fun. Santorini is gorgeous. It's this really interesting island where it's like tall, you know. So when your boats come in, if you land by boat, I mean, because you could fly into the island.
You're staring straight up.
You are.
Wow.
And you stare straight up, and then these cars, and you know, to pick up all the people who land, right? They have to come down this really windy, like 1-lane road to pick up everybody. And it's kind of scary when you're going up there. And then I stayed somewhere at the top and you just have these incredible.
But totally worth it, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Right. Incredible views. Like you're going to have so much fun. Don't worry at all. I'm not even slightly concerned. Have a great time and then give me your report when you get back. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And you had the mention about you know, the brain, like you're treat it like your dog. Yeah, I lose mine a lot. It's like, come here, brain. Come here, brain.
You do not.
I have moments. Last caller of the show today. Unfortunately, it's going to be the Kate from Boston. Hi, Kate.
Hi there. Hi, Marie.
Hello, Kate. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I was hoping today you could look at my energy to see if there's anything interfering with my fertility or if there's anything needed to support me getting pregnant.
Okay. How long have you been trying?
About 1.5 years.
Okay. And have you gone to the doctor?
I have. I've been doing all that, and I'm 40. Don't know if that matters, but
I don't think it does anymore, honestly.
Nope.
Right?
Thank you. Plenty of friends that are examples that's over 40 and they're having their first and second.
Right.
So,
you know, because we're changing. Once our perception starts to change and women are delaying their reproductive life experience because they want to do other things as they should. Right. I think that's healthy. But here's what I think it is. And you can disagree with me. And I'm not saying it's the whole thing. I do want you to take things for your adrenals. But once you get pregnant, you can't take them. You know, so that's a little tricky. Right. But I want you to start to do things for your adrenals. How would you say or describe what, you know, you don't have to go in great detail about your relationship with your mom?
I would say it's pretty complicated.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I'm the youngest of 5 girls. You know, it's an ongoing.
Right. So here's what I want you to start saying to yourself, because this is one of the barriers for many women in terms of getting pregnant is their relationship with their mothers if they're not great or even good. I want you to start saying to yourself, what if I am an incredible parent and an amazing mother? I just want you to start saying really beautiful things about yourself. I'm sure you will be, but somewhere in your belief system, you don't want to be like your mom. So you're kind of preventing your pregnancy. Okay.
I believe it.
Okay.
Good.
Now you've got your what if question and I have to get off the air. Benny's playing the music. Everyone, we wish you many, many joyful blessings. Thank you for listening to the show. We love being here. Bye-bye for now.
You can do it, Kate.